I want you to embrace the darkness. To be an innovator, you have to go through the mud. You know, it's funny, throughout my career, I've helped organizations create these vision statements and mission statements. And what I realized over time is that these vision and mission statements will not get you through the dark. The only thing that will get you through the darkness is actually working on hard problems. Being able to ask the question, are you willing to suffer just a little bit longer? That's what gets you through the dark.
In ancient Rome, there used to be a sacred tradition. It was known as the Roman triumph. After Rome's military victories, the successful general would parade down the street in spectacular fashion, showcasing all the spoils of war. Gold, exotic animals, rare objects. It was an incredible parade. And while the general would be waving to his supporters in Rome, at the back of the chariot there would be a slave. And the slave would whisper in the ear of the general, "Memento mori, memento mori. Remember you will die." On his most important day, the slave would whisper in his ear, "Memento mori." It's to remind the leader that life is short. It was to remind the leader that enjoy this day, but tomorrow is not promised. It's to remind him to innovate every day. It's to remind him that everyone dies. So what are you gonna do? Memento mori.
You know, my parents, they told me that knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. I heard this throughout my entire life, but today I don't believe it anymore. Today, boldness is power. The ability to innovate, to push against the status quo, to do things others say you cannot do. To me, today, this is power. And my parents told me throughout my entire life that these knowledge worker jobs, these are the safest jobs in the world. And it makes sense. You gain a particular set of knowledge and then you deploy that in the world. It makes sense. These were the most valuable jobs in the world. But today they are not. The most valuable job in the world today is being a value creator. The definition of innovation is, it's actually creating value in new ways. So as it turns out, the most valuable job in the world today is being an innovator.
My father died in 2008. I was 23 years old. He died before I got married. Never saw my marriage. He never saw my kids. He never saw my career. And on the flip side, I never saw his career as well. He lived at a time where we didn't have cell phones and mobile phones and all these pictures in our camera roll. I couldn't see his thoughts at different points, at different ages. And everything is different now with my kids. My kids see everything in 4K. Imagine you have basically a documentary film crew in your pocket. At some point, that camera roll will be your documentary. So just imagine your kids, your future grandkids are gonna be watching you in 4K. Are you gonna watch Netflix? Are you gonna sleep in? Are you gonna sit on your ass? Or are you gonna do something if a documentary film crew is in your face? Think about that. You have a documentary film crew in your pocket. To me, this is the greatest excuse to go out and do something. You know, the greatest gift that you can give your kids is the idea that you are still doing things, that you are still dreaming, that you are still achieving. The greatest gift that you can give your kids is them watching you at their age, when they're watching that piece of content and saying, hey, my dad was 49 years old, but he was still doing things. Your life is shot in 4K. The world has changed. And we don't need smart people anymore. We do not need smart people anymore. We need people that are hungry. We need people that are bold. We need people that can fight the status quo. We do not need smart people. We need people that will make a change. We need people that will make a dent in the universe. We need rule breakers. We need dreamers. We need crazy ones. Every piece of advice is wrong. Every piece of advice that you are getting is wrong. The only piece of advice that you need is to just do it. If you would summarize every single book, if you'd summarize every single talk, it just comes down to that one line. Just do it. Just do the thing. Just do the thing every single day. Push yourself forward. That's it. That's all the information that you need in the world. Do the thing. You are put on this planet to be a joke. I want you to be a joke. This is the whole thing with disruption. Disruption always starts out as a joke. If you look throughout history, the most innovative, the most disruptive individuals on the planet were all jokes. So you need to ask yourself, are you willing to be the joke? Are you willing to suffer? Are you willing to be ridiculed? That's what it takes to be a disruptor. You know, it's funny, as a South Asian, as living in an immigrant family, I always heard this line, which was, what will people say? What will people say? This line has killed an entire generation. It is the one thing that actually holds us back. What will people say? What will the community say? And you have to actually embrace it. You actually have to embrace the idea of what will people say. Because the reality is if you are not doing something that people want to talk about, then you're not doing anything relevant. The greatest superpower in life is not caring what people think about you, because then people can't touch you. Think about it. The idea that I fundamentally believe that we are living in one of the greatest periods in history. In what period of history did you have everything in your pocket? Every single technology, every media platform is in your pocket. And to me, the most disruptive entity in the world, it's not AI, it's not quantum computing, it's not cloud, it's not any of these things. The most disruptive entity in the world is the individual. The most disruptive entity in the world is the individual, because you have now everything in your pocket. There are no barriers. And we've trained an entire society to wait for somebody to tap you on the shoulder, for somebody to come down and tell you that you can now do something. Today, you don't have to wait. Today, you can put out that idea, you can put out that tweet, you can put out that illustration, whatever it might be. Today, there are no barriers in the world. To me, this is like the most motivating part. Today, the bold ones are the only ones that have a chance. Today, mediocrity is the most dangerous place to be. Listen, the world is changing very quickly. You have technologies that are on an exponential scale. You have generative AI that is waiting in the wings, that can replace almost any knowledge worker on the planet. So who's going to stand out? Who's going to be unique? Who's going to be different? Today, the misfits, the rebels, the crazy ones, the bold ones are the only ones that have a chance. I believe that the greatest lie that we've told human beings throughout history is that you can be whatever you want, do whatever you want. But the footnote has always been, make sure that it's on the assembly line, make sure that it's part of the status quo. And what's incredible today is that today you can do whatever you want. There are no gatekeepers. There are no barriers. There are no obstacles. It's really just dependent on you at the end of the day. Everybody that's listening to this right now is in the business of making hits. We are all in the hits business. If you are in the movie industry, you are in the hit business. If you are in the music industry, you are in the hit business. If you are in accounting, you are in the hit business. If you're in payroll, you're in the hit business. What does this mean? Your job is actually to create hits. They could be incremental, they could be breakthrough, but no matter what you do, your job is to create hits. It's the idea that you continuously have to be able to create value within your organization, within your business, within society. You are in the hit business. And if you are not making hits, then you are not relevant. Every single person is in the hit business. And I know this is hard because if you're listening to this, you're thinking to yourself, I'm just a cog in the wheel. But if you want to stand out in the world, you have to understand that you are in the hit business. Your job is to create innovations. Your job is to create value. And you can only do that if you recognize that you are in the hit business. I actually hate this. I hate that I have to make this. I hate that this video is about motivation because I absolutely detest motivation. The fact that I have to go out there and inspire and motivate, I hate it because I don't believe in motivation. I believe in actually doing the work. Because when you do the work every single day, that is the most motivating thing that you can do. It's showing up every single day and putting in the work. It's crossing off your to-do list. It's working towards your goals, inching up the mountain bit by bit. To me, that is how you create motivation. It's not by listening to this. It's not by putting in a motivational tape. It's not getting pumped up by a particular song. It's actually putting in the work every single day. And by putting in the work every single day, you automatically remove your self-doubt. You automatically create confidence. You automatically build this equity of boldness. You don't become ripped overnight. You go to the gym every single day and you build that muscle slowly. And that's how you build your confidence. That's how you build your strength. So I absolutely hate motivation. The biggest thing that holds people back is their own status. Now, I know status is an ugly word, but status is wrapped around everything that we do. It's wrapped around our title, our position, our seniority, our experience, and our identity at the end of the day. And the reason why people become fat, lazy, and complacent is because they are unwilling to change their own status. If you want to disrupt yourself, you have to disrupt your own status. The reason why status exists in the word status quo is because that is the thing that actually holds us back. You have to be able to create a different identity. Even the most world-class athletes, performers, artists, they become consumed. I get it. They become obsessed with what they are good at. But you have to be able to compartmentalize that status and be able to create a new realm of status. You have to be able to disrupt your own status at the end of the day in order to move forward. Status is the thing that actually holds us back. And instead of thinking that status makes up our identity, instead of thinking that this credential, this job title, this educational background is what defines us. Start by defining yourself not by what you do, but why you exist. You will start this process of disrupting yourself. Listen, if you want to reinvent yourself, if you want to take on another path, if you want to get out of the daily grind of what you do today, you have to be able to disrupt yourself. You can only do that when you stop defining yourself by what you do, but why you exist. You have to start placing yourself in lower status situations. Now, I know status is an ugly word, but get the coffee, do the meeting minutes, come off the bench, hand out the cookies. By placing yourself in these situations, you will start this process of disrupting yourself. Ask yourself the question, are you willing to get yourself fired? How do I try to get myself fired today? One of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to people that are bold is that they are confident. It's that they have the answers. Is that they've prepared themselves for this moment. And it's completely not true. The boldest people on the planet are the people that are scared. The most dangerous person in the room is the person who's most afraid but bold enough to move forward. Let me repeat. The most dangerous person in the room is the person who's most afraid but bold enough to move forward. The most dangerous person in the room is the person who's most afraid but bold enough to move forward. Let that internalize. It's the person who's most afraid. It's the person who is not confident. It's the person who has doubt. That's the person that's the most dangerous person in the room because they decided to move forward. That's it. That's all it takes. It's to move forward. The reason why I've dedicated my life to this idea of innovation is because to me, innovation is the most motivating force in the world. The idea that you can do something so spectacular, that you can do something so magnetic, that you can do something so contagious, that you can convince and inspire other people around you to innovate as well. What else do you want? What I've seen throughout my life is that people that are willing to take shots, the people that are willing to make breakthroughs, the people that are willing to do things that are awe-inspiring, they are able to inspire others. They are able to inspire others to do things. They're able to inspire other leaders. They are able to inspire other remixes. Other people that are copying them but doing it in their own way. To me, that is inspiring because not only are you creating opportunities for yourself, but indirectly you are creating opportunities for other people. So to me, innovation is contagious, and that is the most beautiful part about innovation. So go out there and do things differently because this is not just for yourself. This is for the people around you. This is for your kids. This is for your partners. This is for society. It actually pays to innovate. One of the things that I dream about is lifting the people around me. It's lifting my partners, my advocates, my fans, my followers, the people around me, lifting them up and seeing them do incredible things. That's the power of innovation. Listen, the punchline is that the market doesn't really care about you. People don't really care about you. Your customers don't really care about you. Your stakeholders don't really care about you. Your customers will always choose something that's stronger, faster, more seamless, more cost effective. They will always choose that path. And so we live in a world today where you have to be fantastically good or no one cares. You have to be extraordinarily good or no one cares. And that's the difference. So are you willing to be incredibly great or be completely forgotten? That's what we're living in today. You know, there was a time where mediocrity was accepted. There was a time where you could go to the factory and clock in and then clock out. There was a time where you could just do the bare minimum. Quiet quitting, they said. You could do that, but not today. Today, everything has changed. And either you are doing something fantastically well, or you will be forgotten. That's the difference. There is no more middle. It doesn't exist. Mediocrity is the most dangerous place to be. Be fantastically good or no one cares. I hate the idea of hustle culture. I hate the idea that you have to be 100% in, 100% focused in your particular field. I actually believe that this is how you get disrupted. I believe that when we are so focused on your particular craft that you actually become vulnerable. Listen, the best companies in the world, the best individuals, the best creators, the best accountants, the best insurance brokers, they all get vulnerable to disruption because they're so zeroed in on what they are good at. And I believe in wasteful journeys. I believe in wasting your time. I believe in wasting your energy. I want you to waste. What does that mean? That means take a detour. Explore uncharted territories. Experiment. Play. Work on new skills. Meet new people. Waste your time just a little bit. Because if you start wasting your time, you will realize that your life is not consumed with that one thing. Because if your life is consumed with one thing, what happens is that your identity becomes stuck to that one thing. And try to change your identity. It's the hardest thing to change. So the more that you can be more wasteful, the more that you can have wasteful journeys, that's actually how you create a prolific and innovative career. It's by developing new skills, developing new ideas, meeting new people, building your social, your financial capital. Embrace wasteful journeys. One of the secrets that I've learned from some of those innovative individuals throughout history is that they create a self-fulfilling prophecy. We romanticize these success stories, these entrepreneurs, these leaders. We turn them into mythological characters. But the reason why that happens is because they build a business around what they're doing. They win the admiration of their existing customers. They win the admiration of new customers. They make more money, they get more funding, they get more press, they get more partners. They reinvest into their marketing and their story, and they keep winning. Social scientists have told us that winners keep winning. One of the reasons is because their reputation for past success tends to get disproportionate credit for future wins. This is known as the Matthew effect. Winners keep winning. This is the DNA of the bold ones. They challenge incumbents, dismiss traditional thinking, and reinvent themselves. No matter where they go, whether they're in the office, a prison cell, or in their own enterprise, they change everything. They change everything. I call them bold ones. Bold ones think, act, and build for a future they see. They form their own understanding, confront ingrained ideas, innovate towards the path, and evolve their careers. Not only are these bold ones ready for change, but they actively anticipate it, adapt as necessary, and even create change themselves. Throughout history, individuals have changed the world. Bold ones change history. You see, people follow people, not companies, not brands, not organizations. People follow people. And the next great disruptors are going to come from individuals, people that are willing to put their name out there, to speak up, to act up. No one just gets lucky. No one just gets lucky. Every single person that I've seen that gets luck, they increase their surface area of luck. They innovate, they try things in different ways, and they ultimately increase the surface area for them to get lucky. The greatest myth when it comes to luck is that luck just drops upon you. It doesn't. Luck happens when you are moving. Luck happens when you are going up the mountain. Luck happens when you're getting out of the house. That's how you get lucky. So increase the surface area for you to get lucky today. Meet somebody that you haven't met before. Call someone that you've never called before. Send that email. Walk your dog in the park. Expand your surface area for getting lucky. A lot of people ask me, how do you build an innovation mindset? How do you build an innovation mindset? You can't turn on the light and just have an innovation mindset. Mindset is built every single day. It's built in the trenches. It's built when you are working on hard, challenging things. I'm not gonna lie to you. When many people think about innovation, they think about it as technology. They think about it as some new shiny thing. But having an innovation mindset has nothing to do with technology. It has everything to do with, are you willing to be the joke? Are you willing to try something or to say something that other people would never try or say? And to have an innovation mindset is to sit in that discomfort. It's to sit in the position of uncertainty and say, yes, we are going to do this, or yes, we are willing to do this. An innovation mindset is built daily. It is built upon the idea of trying something differently every single day. And the more that you try that, the more that you will identify yourself as somebody that is innovative. That's how you start to change your mindset. That might take days, months, but more likely it's gonna take years. It's gonna take years to create an innovation mindset, and you are gonna hate that I said that. You're gonna hate that I said it's gonna take years for you to build this. That's what it takes. And guess what? Even the most innovative people, they get complacent. They do things in the pursuit of efficiency. They do things in the pursuit of optimization. Everyone gets to that point, and it makes sense, because when you become fat, rich, and lazy, it makes sense. You want to exploit as much as you can when you're at the top. And that's why some of the most innovative companies become stagnant. Why the most innovative leaders become stagnant. They lost the innovation mindset because they forgot that in order to be innovative, you have to practice it every single day. You have to say, I am willing to sit in the seat of uncomfortable. I am willing to sit in this seat that is uncomfortable, that is lonely, that is scary. You have to be willing to sit in that seat every day, even if it's for 5 minutes, even if it's for 10 minutes. You have to be willing to sit in that seat. I'm almost 40 years old. Most of my friends are almost 40 years old. And the majority of them have already died. The majority of them have already died. Most people die at 23 years old. They're just not buried until they're 87. Most people die at 23 years old. They're just not buried until they're 87. Their pursuits, their dreams, their motivation to pursue what they're put on this earth for dies at 23 years old because they are told a lie throughout their entire lives that they can do whatever they want, but they realize that they can't achieve it. They realize that it's way too lofty. And so they just go through their entire life without pursuing what they want to pursue in life. And I love my friends to death, but most of them are living for their kids. They don't have any dreams. They don't have any pursuits. They don't have any passions. They lost that hunger for themselves, and now they're living for somebody else. I believe we should still ask ourselves, no matter how old you are, you're 30 years old, you're 40 years old, you're 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, that you should still ask yourself, what are my dreams? What do I still want to accomplish? What do I want to check off my bucket list? We should always be dreaming. We should always be dreaming. And the greatest gift that you can leave to your kids, the greatest gift that you can give to the rest of society is showcasing to people that you are still living for your dreams. That you can still dream, that you are 90 years old and frail, but you are still dreaming. That is the greatest gift that you can give anybody. Because the reality is that at 23 years old, most people don't dream anymore. Their dreams die. And they create this self-fulfilling prophecy that they can't achieve what they have been set out in the world to achieve. And a lot of people ask me, like, why are you so on this? Why is this so important? Why is it so important for you to be bold, for you to be innovative, for you to reach your dreams, for you to do well in this world? Because this is actually how you build a happy life. I did not realize this until later. That actually happiness is actually about you being bold. Happiness is about you becoming stronger and healthier and more sociable. And you only do that by being bold, by putting yourself in uncomfortable position. That's how you become stronger. By embracing the darkness, do you become more mentally ready for uncertainty, for dealing with life challenges. By working with others, by building deep, intimate relationships, that's how you become more sociable. So actually, by being bold is actually about happiness at the end of the day. And I did not realize. I wrote a book called The Bold Ones. It didn't have the word happy in it at all. But I didn't realize that I wrote a book about happiness. This whole idea of exploring, experimenting, playing, about reaching your dreams, fulfilling what you want to do in life. This is actually about happiness. What are we talking about here? This is about you being happy at the end of the day. How do you be happy? The only way to be happy is to be free. It's to explore. It's to face challenges. It's to be in uncomfortable situations. It's to be in uncomfortable situations. That's how you be happy. It's how you face uncertainty. That's how you become happy. So if you want to be happy, you have to be bold. If you want to be happy, you have to innovate. You can't be happy by being complacent. I have never met a single person in my life that is happy and complacent. I have never met somebody that is happy and lazy. I have never met somebody that's happy and hasn't fulfilled their goals. I've never have met somebody that's happy and has regrets. The happiest people on the planet are the people that have no regrets. Ask anybody on their deathbed when they're 90 years old what they regret the most. And they regret the most is that they weren't able to fulfill what they wanted to do in life. So if you want to be happy, you have to be bold.